So the basic idea of attestation is that it is trustworthy evidence about something. Now, when we talk about a cybersecurity system, what that really means is knowing in a way that some relying party, like say a bank or an IoT cloud provider, can be really confident about what it is that they're receiving from a device. So digging a bit further into that, what we really mean is that we have a secure environment, a root of trust, if you will, that is providing a cryptographically signed evidence of the state of the device. For example, is it securely booted? Is debug enabled? Is there any evidence of tampering? Those types of things. And then the relying party, because it's cryptographically signed, can verify that yes, that comes from, for example, a particular device made by a particular manufacturer. So one of the big challenges of IoT has been for people to be confident that the things that they're connecting into their networks really behave as they should do, that they're not causing some kind of risk to those networks. And we've seen security be a real problem. So where attestation helps us is that it does tend to help us to find those devices that have been tampered with or which maybe have a bad version of software on them that should be updated. These are the types of things that you can determine. And what's critical really is that by having confidence in what you have on your network and really knowing what that is, backed by a root of trust, and that root of trust could be security certified, you start to actually be able to make some real accurate assessments of what it is that you have and how much you can trust it. So today it's very difficult to do trustworthy attestations, and in practice relying parties have to use some sort of proprietary set of metrics to try and tell them something about the device they're talking to. Now we have an activity that's going on across many standards bodies now, in which we're trying to ensure that we have a single interoperable, at least base standard, so that relying parties and device manufacturers can both have a confidence that they're developing something that is likely to be widely used and widely interoperable. GlobalPlatform helps particularly there because with our compliance programs and with all our interoperability testings, we're able to create something with a high degree of confidence of interoperability. But the reality is that the whole attestation framework that we're using is one that is being broadly standardized at the IETF. There is interest also in other groups. And so we have a pretty good confidence that given time, many of those interoperability problems will go away and there will be a single reliable way of determining trustworthy evidence about a device that, because it's backed by a root of trust, has a genuine confidence behind it. So the value really is several-fold. We are taking an openly developed standard, that is the entity attestation token work that's being done at the IETF, and we're extending that so that it defines entity attestation that has been produced in a root of trust, and also to define how that root of trust behaves, and even to cover the security certification. So this would mean that you could have a trustworthy attestation, not only that something came from a trusted execution environment or from a secure element, but in fact that particular root of trust had been independently certified, for example, under the GlobalPlatform TE security certification, or perhaps by a common criteria secure element certification. So that's a huge value because it brings the ability to know in a trustworthy way that somebody else has actually audited that root of trust. The first thing really is to finish the specifications and then to start early on interoperability testing. That's something that we plan to be happening probably towards the middle of next year. And then I think the critical factor will be to start to look at security certification. Again, a root of trust by its nature is something you have to trust, and the best way to trust it is to have third-party auditing, have the laboratories who know best how to break things tell you what real level of security that you have.